And welcome to Under the Bus podcast, episode 31. I am back and I'm supreme leader. What what can I say?
Are you about to threaten Iran right now? That what's happening?
I am about to threaten everyone if you do not listen to everything I have to say and stop calling me an orange carrot and a Cheeto. Hello everyone. It's Clayton at Lakers 1949, and I'm joined by my co-host, Merge. How are you doing, Merge?
We bike.
It's been 2 weeks since our last podcast, and it's been even longer since I guess, kind of hosted. Or
yeah, it's probably been since last year. I've hosted pretty much this whole season. So
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened. Not really. There's not really that much has happened since Summer League.
But not in Summer League, but we weren't on here at all during Summer League. So
yeah, no, we had the episode when Nelson was on.
Oh no, okay, that was like the Lakers didn't play.
That was like the second or third day of it, I think.
The Lakers hadn't played yet.
Oh my word!
In Vegas Summer League, so we had the whole Vegas Summer League to talk about.
No, gotcha. Yeah. No, it's whatever. So, since we didn't review Summer League, since we were both busy, what were some of the highlights for you? I guess, do you want to go over people first, or was there any game in particular first that stood out to you?
Well, my favorite game of it, I think this is a pretty obvious one. It was the one against the Cavs. It was so much fun, and even it was even fun watching Colin Sexton play. I've always had a soft spot for him. At least watching him play, I wasn't really a guy that had him high, but he's just a guy that I love watching play.
Yeah.
And then Svi and Josh Hart putting up 30+ points each was a lot of fun. And then I think the Knicks game was actually pretty fun as well, but it wasn't anything like that Cavs one. I mean, going double overtime, I was kind of mad that there wasn't a sudden death, which I don't get. Like, why only have it in the regular season? Like, shouldn't the whole point of sudden death be to have this be used in an actual crucial game? But anyway, yeah, it was that Cavs game for me. Just watching Josh Hart go off for 38 and Svi just take over the game. And
yeah, I think one of my favorite things is it's actually on right now on Spectrum was the game against the Clippers, and primarily because Josh Hart was good and Sindarius Thornwell was not very good. I feel it makes me feel validated because both guys tore up. Obviously, Josh Hart tore up Summer League, but Thornwell did pretty well, except that game. He had a couple nice, plays. Like right now, as I speak of the devil, he just hit a corner three. But Thornwell was going to go out there and defend Hart and I think even Svi, and they both just kind of roasted him.
Oh, I mean, just for the Svi's James Harden step back, yeah. I would definitely. I would understand.
Yeah,
I was a little mad that not mad, but it was unfortunate that Shea and Jerome Robinson didn't play.
It would have been much more of a game.
Yeah.
One thing I have to say that even though I can't stand obviously Billy Mack or Stu Lance
or no, it was Michael Thompson this whole time.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I am so glad I don't actually have to listen to Michael Thompson every game because my word, he is an idiot. I don't know how people enjoy him. He's
pretty much like a meme on Lakers Twitter at this point, or even NBA Twitter on this point.
I mean, he's just. I think he's trying to be Bill Walton or something like that, and he's not.
My favorite thing, I watched every game on both, just because I like hearing the multiple different perspectives.
Shout out to Doris Burke for being a huge Brandon Ingram fan.
My god, that was a lot of 3 straight games that the Lakers played, and she was all over BI. It was awesome. But I watched on both. Listening to the Spectrum feed, there was one Michael Thompson was saying something like he thinks there should be it shouldn't be 6 fouls and you foul. He thinks it should be 10. And then he completely dismisses the idea of the best 16 teams making it to the playoffs.
he's
yeah. But yeah.
Anyways, so Josh Hart was obviously named the MVP, and he was on fire.
He was also ejected twice, which was probably my favorite stat from the summer league.
The last game. I did not get to watch the game against, it was the Trailblazers in the championship game, right?
Yeah, the 11 NBA players they had out there.
Yeah, a lot of guys apparently were. Anyways,
yeah,
I didn't bother to watch that game after everything. I was out of. I think I was out of town, or I was just out and about. But, anyways, Josh Hart, our boy. My third favorite member, or I think my third most valuable member of the core.
Yeah, of the core. Yeah,
behind, of course, like LeBron, but I'm meaning like the young.
Well, it was Zoe and Bi behind those two.
Yeah, he's behind Zoe and Bi for me. I know most people would have Kuzma ahead of him, and that's fine. But Hart has been my guy since last year, and he wasn't really like a lead ball handler or anything like that. And I mean, he did like. He was the focal point, but he wasn't necessarily like showing any advanced dribble moves or initiating stuff with the offense. A lot of times he was just kind of using the pick and roll or just
those pull-up threes off the dribble, man.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, or he just pulled up in your face and just nailed it right. It was just amazing. But he wanted to go there and dominate, and
he did.
He really did. What about you?
Yeah, I think the obvious game with him was obviously that Cavs game. I think there was 2 plays during that one. He had 2 like pick and roll, hesitation dribble, spin move layups. Like one from the left corner, and then one from like right down the middle against the Cavs, and that dude. That dude doesn't. He makes some tough layups, man. Like he's making some like really, really difficult layups, and I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if it was only in transition or if it was just finishing in general. But I think he was actually one of the best, one of the better finishers in the league when it came at the rim. Especially, I mean, he looked a lot bigger and more athletic. There was that one dunk against I want to say it was the Knicks, that he took off the dribble and then left hand off the dribble going towards the basket. Like he wouldn't have been able to do that last year. You can see the obvious improvement. The shot was there. I think he shot 38% from 3, and I think it could have been a lot higher because he took a lot of really bad threes. Just because he was the focal point of the offense, and I mean he's not going to do that.
And I think some of that was like at the end of a game or two. Like
it was the end of that Cavs game. He had when what's his name, when Colin Sexton was playing that defense, quote unquote.
Oh man, I wanted him to take him off the dribble.
Yeah,
but I knew he was
really lucky.
I knew he was going to pull up. But man, if he would have taken him off the dribble, I think he would have cooked him with that fake intensity. I mean, I'm sure Sexton was fully like, I don't know, like just in the zone, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think Hart would have blown by him.
He probably would have. I mean, there was a lot of plays like that where Josh was blowing past guys. There were a couple times where he tried to do too much.
Yeah.
During that Cavs game, for instance, I think the ball should have went to Sevilla a little more, but it's a little
like in overtime. Yeah.
It's nitpicking because it's not a game that matters in the long run.
One of my favorite things, and I guess this is more for like guys that have to do with like a beat, it was the complaining about like the length of the game, and like I'm like, it's free basketball, man. Like I don't care if it's summer league. I'm not going to get to see this for another
2 months.
2 months. So like,
especially now that we have LeBron, it's gonna hurt even more.
Oh yeah, I mean, like if someone were to have gotten hurt, that would have been obviously really unfortunate.
Yeah.
That said, no one did, and it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, unless you were just
I watched that and reacted to it like it was a regular season game. Like I was yelling on top of my lungs.
Me too.
Especially when Svi hit that weird like off 1 foot off the backboard and the shot clock shot.
Oh yeah. Real quick, well then that's perfect right there. Let's go to Svi. So I was listening to the Laker Film Room podcast, and Pete was talking about him, and
Pete loves him, man. Pete, that's his guy.
Yeah. And I think people misconstrue the fact that we said that Svi was a guy that you could have 47 or undrafted. That doesn't mean that we didn't think he couldn't go higher or
that was Kansas Svi. That was Kansas Svi.
Yeah, Kansas Svi is 47 to undrafted. FIBA Svi is a first round draft pick.
No,
and we clearly got FIBA Svi, and I've been talking about him for 3 years now. So like. This is nothing new. Like I have loved this guy for a long time, and just being able to go back and see like the FIBA tapes and stuff like that, and people were thinking he could be a superstar according to Pete when he first went to Kansas, and then you just kind of like didn't hear about him because like he was put into a role that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the players he played with. He played with Josh Jackson. Did he play with Andrew Wiggins? I think he played with Andrew Wiggins.
Maybe his.
This is Wiggins. This is going to be Andrew Wiggins' 5th year in the NBA. So maybe not, but
it might have been. If anything, it was like his freshman year,
right? Devontae Graham, Frank Mason.
This year, Malik Newman.
Yeah, Malik Newman.
There was a lot of guys that were going to get more focus than he was.
Yeah,
because he was just kind of put into like a spot up role, which he's good at. I mean,
he shot 50+%.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, whenever he shot a 3 in summer league, I was more surprised when it wasn't a basket. Yeah. Like
he's one of those guys that you're expecting it to go in every time.
Yep, I was like buckets, and then like if he missed it, I was like, oh well. That's surprising, but like he showed a lot of the advanced moves that he had shown in FIBA play. Like I'm not Pete, so I'm not going to act like I know all the names of the plays that he was, all the moves that he's able to do. I'm not a coach.
At Clayton film room.
Yeah, yeah. Don't ask me to do that. But he showed plenty of like hesitation stuff and off the dribble actions, and just the footwork was good. He has vision. Like,
no, he has legit vision, man.
Yeah. So like, I don't want to steal from Pete again right here, but Pete said it's that in the middle of superstar, which I don't think Svi is going to be a superstar. No,
he's going to be a superstar.
But like.
I think he has started potential.
Yeah, I mean, like this is a guy now who I think you clearly have to give him minutes.
Oh yeah, you have to. I think it happened later, like a little later on this season. I don't think it happened immediately. I think Lance is going to get the minutes, or Lance or Beasley, who we'll talk about later, will get the minutes first. But I think by the end of the season, the minute he plays with LeBron, he's going to get minutes. I think.
Oh, look, LeBron's going to love him, and a thing that we have talked about is our concern for him on defense, because he has a negative wingspan.
Yeah.
Like he's 6'7", 6'8", I think maybe in shoes. Like he's a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
Shout out real quick to Miles Simon for the lineup that he has on the floor right now of Caruso, Branch, King, Xavier
Rathan. I forgot about him.
Xavier Rathan Mays and Jonathan Williams. So like Caruso is right now the point guard, but also the power forward. It's wonderful. I actually love that lineup. But like once Svi is, as you said, playing with LeBron, he's not going to be on the bench very long because you know, with LeBron, with his driving kick stuff, if you have a good shot, you were expected to make it. You know, like, oh my gosh, I think
and not only that,
that's another thing I just stole from Pete. Sorry, Pete. But like, you know, 50+% from catch and shoot from deep, according
for 4 years.
For 4 years, according to Tim's analytics, or not analytics, but you know, just his stats. I didn't personally look that up, so I believe it was Tim. So
I believe Tim tweeted that out like the night of the draft, or the day after the draft, something like that.
Yeah. So like, the dude is a bucket, you know, and yeah, you can say it was summer league. You know, a lot of these guys aren't. Some of these guys aren't even G League talent, but you know, he showed plenty, in my opinion. He showed the ability to make some of these moves, and maybe it'd take a year or 2 or 3 or 4 to do some of those moves against some guys. You know, like he's not going to do those moves against Kawhi. Right?
No.
Just obviously, he's not going to.
90% of the NBA is not doing a move against Kawhi.
He's not going to do to Kawhi's former teammate and DeJounte Murray. You know, like he's not going to be able to do all those things, especially right off the bat. But I mean, like he's shown enough that he can handle the ball. He can run some sets. He can come off of screens. He can find that open hole in the defense. Like he's just like, yeah. I've said for now 3+ years, or however long this podcast has been now. I think it's over 3 years now. You have to find guys on value contracts. And he is he along with Josh Hart and Kyle Kuzma, potentially Mo Wagner, and we'll see about Bonga. But you know, Svi is a guy that I think is going to be a ton of value on a very cheap deal. And is it for 3 or is it 4 years?
I believe it's 3.
With a team option.
I believe so. Yeah,
I'd have to look it up, but
I think it was like 4 years, 6 mil. I think that's what the actual deal was. 4 years, 7 mil, something like that.
Yeah, I think so, something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. So like, that's, oh my word. So you have all 4 of those guys for less than $10 million.
I want to find there's a tweet that Pete tweeted out about those threes, their combined salary, like compared to like Melo or something like that. I forgot what he was comparing it to, but those 3 were like for the next 3 or 4 years are going to be worth like 7 mil, and like 9 mil over the next 3 years.
I mean, like think about this. Okay, so you have these guys for 3 to 4 years apiece now, right?
Yeah.
Tyler Johnson of the Miami Heat signed one of those Gilbert Arenas deals. I mean, the Miami Heat were baited into it by
the Nets,
by the Brooklyn Nets, but he signed the full Arenas deal, and he was cheap for the first 2 years, but now these next 2 years he's like $18.5 million for both years. And who would you rather have, all 4 of those guys or Tyler Johnson? And I think Johnson is a okay player.
He's an okay player,
but I mean, I'd rather take Hart, Wagner.
I'd rather have Hart like in a year than Tyler Johnson.
Oh, I think I'd rather have Hart this year over Tyler Johnson. So, yeah, just, oh my word, the incredible depth and value that they have from these cheap contracts is just.
Shout out to Joey Best, man.
For
the team is in some really good hands after Genie leaves. Like, that's for sure.
Yep.
Those bus boys are really, really something like special when it comes to finding talent, in my opinion. To go off your point about Svi, I think Svi, the thing that impressed me the most wasn't actually the shooting. It was when he was able to score without making threes. I'm trying to remember what game it was, but there was a game where I think he only made 1 3, but he still almost put up 20. And he made some moves where like there was a Euro step in transition that he made it, which was like, and he it was a coast to coast thing too. Like he grabbed the rebound and he went, and then he did a Euro step and made a layup. Like there was so many things that like he was doing that wasn't shooting them. Like wow, okay,
he was catching lobs, dude. Like
oh yeah, and legit like off 2 feet.
He's got some bounce to him. I mean, like obviously his reach is going to be impacted by his wingspan, but like the Lakers have 3 of the best passers in the NBA.
Oh yeah,
like with LeBron, Zoe, and even Rondo. You know, like I'm not a huge fan of Rondo, but like
I mean he's still at least a top 10 passer.
Yeah, you can't deny his vision and his ability to make a pass. So like, I mean, he could go up for an oop and from all 3 of those guys, and it's just be, you know, bucket. And like,
there's that one where
I love him.
There was that one lob from Raton Mays from half court to him, and like you can see in transition, Svi's going for those lobs. Like he has his hand up. When he's cutting the basket, and he's actually going for those lobs. And then the one last thing that really impressed me was when he played when he would switch on the bigs. There was this 2-play stretch against the Cavs where he was up against, I want to say Billy Preston, either Billy Preston or their other big they have. I forgot who it was, but the first one he switched on to him and he stopped. He like got a stop. Then the second one he caused a turnover. And like, if he's fighting like that on switches, like I don't see how he doesn't play. And he's just like a much better defender than I was expecting. Like I think he can be a, you know.
He's yeah, you know, he does have the effort thing of, you know, like so for some guys it looks like a lot of effort, but there's the John Wooden quote of oh dang it. Essentially like, okay, it's like activity does not mean achievement or something like that. He's active, and yeah, he is impacted by a shorter wingspan, but he is making plays. Like he's got something that the Lakers look for, especially in those late round guys, of some defensive instincts, handling the ball and shooting. And like,
yeah,
while I question some of like Mo Wagner's defensive abilities, his like
he talks, man.
He talks and like, which, oh man, we're gonna have to talk about attitude with these guys.
That's gonna be a lot of fun to talk
about with all these guys. With Wagner and, you know, Svi, they have these team defensive instincts where they're able to, you know, help in the passing lane, or just that off ball defense is just really something. Like there was one game where Svi had 2 steals in the matter of 2 plays right in a row. Like he's not going to be a lockdown defender because he lacks that wingspan, but he's going to be a good defender, and he's active in a good way, not just active in just a show me way, you know.
I think the biggest thing that showed me that I think he can be a average or above or slightly above average defender in the NBA was that one where he missed the 3 and then he took Hutchinson the whole court.
Yeah.
And Hutchinson is a guy an NBA body, NBA length. Like I think he's a guy that he might have to defend in the NBA, you know?
Yeah. And he did just fine. And Hutchinson is also a guy who's supposed to be a pretty good offensive threat, you know.
He's supposed to be really polished.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Kuzma comparisons with him coming out of college.
I think that's mainly because of like
the size,
Idaho, Utah type thing. Like,
yeah.
Utah is technically Pac-12 now, but you know, like that small school thing. I don't really see that comp, but anyways.
Yeah. To transition into what you brought up like a couple minutes ago, let's talk about Mo. Because that guy's gonna get into a fight this year, man. I guarantee he's gonna get into at least one fight. Other teams are gonna hate him, man.
He's gonna get someone ejected.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's not even a question. Like
he laughs in people's face.
Oh man, and like that's something I used to do, laugh at people, and people hate that on the basketball court, man. Like they hate it, and they're oh man, like you go to some people go to the Y or like the 24-hour fitness, and you go play on the courts, you know, and or just even go to the city parks. Like if someone is laughing at another guy on the court,
oh man,
that the guy who's being laughed at is going to be up in that other guy's face within the next 2 seconds. And you saw it happen to Mo a couple times early, and
oh yeah, he pissed some dudes off.
Oh man,
I'm trying to remember who it specifically. He got one guy really mad. I'm trying to remember which game it was.
I mean, like they've got so many guys that talk crap already.
We can go. Yeah, when we talk about the whole team, man. That's
I mean, but like
5 or 6 guys who just talk so much crap.
I mean, like, well, can you imagine a lineup with like Rondo, Stevenson,
LeBron, Kuzma, LeBron, and Mo?
Yeah, or Kuzma, Beasley, and Mo.
Oh my Lord.
That's not a good lineup. Okay, I'm going to flat out say that's not a good lineup.
No, it's not.
It's not. It's actually not as bad as I was thinking offhand. Yeah. But anyways,
it's like
that lineup would get teams, like whole teams, ejected because all of them are going to talk mad crap right in front of their face. Like
if you saw that video of Mo Wagner during a game, he was mic'd up. Yeah, that dude, you can tell that dude just talks.
He's it's wonderful.
He's gonna be a ton of fun to watch. Just antics.
Yeah, I still have my questions. I'm still obviously not the highest on him, but like there are some aspects that I do like about him. And oh my word, because when you know the announcers are getting annoyed by it, the players are getting annoyed by it, and it's a whole bunch of fun. I love when players talk crap, and you know because like when the Lakers made the switch from Jim and Mitch, a lot of what they seemed to be doing was, as Pete has said it, like choir boys. You know, they were getting guys other than like KCP last year, who with DUI stuff. Most of the guys that they had brought in were pretty good. You know, like for you hadn't heard of anything from the draft picks. You know, like Lonzo, even though his dad's a psychopath. Zoe is a great kid. Kuzma is, came from a hard situation and has shown success. Josh Hart, 4-year player. And Josh Hart is a very good kid. And
I mean,
then you have Ingram, and you just have all these guys, and they're, as Pete has said, choir boys. Well, now they got some dirt bags, like as my dad would say.
We have like the dirt, just Rondo and Lance together. Like,
oh man, it's gonna. I don't know how this season's gonna turn out.
I don't think Lance is gonna be on the team the whole season. I think Rondo will, but
oh man, so there's gonna be fights.
Yes, there will. The Lakers gonna be must watch TV every single night.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Going a little bit more to Mo on the court though. What did you see from him in the summer league specifically that you were sort of encouraged by?
I mean that he obviously, like, he's got a good motor. Some of the team defensive aspects, because I don't really think he's a great on-ball defender. He has quick enough feet to be able to switch, which is good. We all know he's got good form, but like his shot. Oh, speaking of attitude, Josh Hart also has a lot of attitude.
He does, man.
But back to Mo. I did love the fire that he brought. That
Yeah.
sound like such a white guy phrase, but like
Gritty.
He's gritty and son of a coach and all that. But like I think a lot of his success is really going to be dependent on if the shot falls.
Mm-hmm.
I think his form is too good, and it's not like an Anthony Brown type thing.
No, he was able to get it off very, very quickly. I think when you put him with guys like LeBron and Ingram and Lonzo and Kuzma, I think it'll be something a lot different because he was more of the focus,
Yeah, I think so too. So I'm not exactly worried about that. I do worry about some of the skills that people say he has, like the handle.
It works.
It's that one behind the back thing, and
it looks
when when NBA teams realize like, oh, he's gonna go behind his back, like, then I think that will. Yeah, but I mean, the one thing I can say about his handles, and which is in a positive manner, is he is a guy that can also grab and go himself, which is really good considering he's almost 7 foot, he's 6'11", and
I think all but like one guy on the roster can grab and go, and that's JaVale.
Yeah. But JaVale is just going to book it down the court, and he's I mean, you're a rim runner, that's what he's going to be there for. So, like Mo's a pretty good athlete, so like he's going to be able to run the floor.
Mm-hmm.
He can also be that trail man and hit the three from deep. So like again, like there were guys that I would have taken ahead of him. I said this year I was not going to blow up like I did last year. And just acknowledge that, like there were guys that I still liked ahead of him, but I'm not going to question the scouting department.
Yeah, never again. We do this every year. I'm never until something actually doesn't work. I just don't get how you can say.
I think it would have to be multiple, and like I'm talking about like multiple guys of just not working out.
Oh yeah. We've had like one guy who hasn't worked out in the past 5 years. That's Anthony Brown. And even though D'Angelo
he's like a 4A type of player. He's too good for the G League, but he can't figure it out in the NBA.
Yeah, and then even though we've traded a lot of the guys from the past 5 years, they're still NBA players,
Nance gone. He's still a rotation player, if not a starter.
Even if
Clarkson outplayed his draft position, and just is making $50 million.
Yeah.
Julius Randle, sad to see him go still. Like they're D'Angelo. They have drafted really good, and the only guy that you could really consider like.
Even a guy like Zubac, who's like I still think he could be an NBA player.
I think I'm hoping Zubac shows better this year. But
me too.
Yeah. Okay, so going down the list, we got Alex Caruso, my boy, who I think is essentially the third point guard at this point. He did show some of his deficiencies, and such as like handles go, like he's pretty basic with some of that.
Yeah,
but
the defense is real, man.
But the defense is real, and he's got good vision. He's able to hit a lot of guys. As in the Clippers game, they tried to trap him, and there was a couple passes where he just hit, airs, as two guys are still on him, and there was just a nice clean pass to them, or he had plenty of driving kicks, and just. I think he just needs to continue to stay aggressive and actually make the three-pointer in the NBA, because I think he's a decent enough shooter. I mean, maybe he doesn't shoot like the 40% he did in the G League last year, but like if he could shoot 36 to 37% and do the things that he does otherwise.
I was like a 11th, 12th man. I mean, we both talk about how we think he can be a backup point guard, but even if he's just like.
At this point, I think he's at the minimum a 12 to 15 man, and I think he's a guy that every team most every team would be happy to have on their roster. You know,
Yeah,
like
I think so too. Yeah.
So, I mean, do you have anything else to put on? Like,
no, it just I think my favorite game from him was that Knicks game. I know he didn't score. I think he only scored like 4 points, but there was that one like when he makes those plays where he's just putting his body on the line, like it's just so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like I still think he's a guy that can be a backup point guard. I mean, a 6'5" guy who has decent athleticism, he has a decent wingspan, who I think he's an actual above average NBA defender. Like that's real. I think. The aggressive. The aggression. I think if he just needs to stay aggressive, and his biggest problems are I think he overpasses sometimes. Yeah. I think he takes some poor shots. There's times where I think he can go to the rim and then he takes like a mid-range jumper. And he needs to fix a little bit of that shot selection, but I still think like just as a guy who he continues the same sort of mold that we have our point guards right now. You know, I mean, Lonzo and Rondo are just guys who push, who in theory for Rondo at least defend their ass off. Like they want to push the tempo. They want to get others involved, and I mean, Caruso is just another extension of that. You know.
Yep, I agree.
But there's not much else really I think to say on it. We watched him a lot over the past 2 years. You know.
Yeah. So the last guy really that is officially with the team is Isaac Bonga.
NBA Lakers Twitter favorite rookie.
Oh my word. Okay. So like I understand Bonga did not look great. Okay. He looked slow in a lot of ways. He doesn't have a lot.
He had more travels. I think he had more travels than points. Like I don't think I'm joking there too. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He lacked, like he's super raw and he's just flat out not very good right now.
I still saw some flashes, man.
That was the thing. He showed flashes, and every year I'd say, don't worry about like the full out performance. Like, like Josh Hart should dominate.
Yes.
If Kuzma would have gone, which would have been
Kuzma would have scored 30 points per game.
Kuzma would have scored 35 plus points a game.
That is too good of an offensive player not to do that.
So like with guys such as Bonga, especially he's like I think the youngest guy going to be the youngest guy in the NBA. I think the only guy that was younger, and if he's not the youngest guy in the NBA, it's like I think
Jaren Jackson.
I was going to say it might be Jaren Jackson, the only guy.
That's insane, man.
So yeah. So like with Bonga, he wasn't with a good European team. He was a pretty low European team from what I remember.
Yeah.
And with the Lakers, they didn't really put him in spots where he would succeed because he's a 6'8", 6'9", essentially point guard, where they were kind of having him like
off ball a lot.
Off ball, and he's not an off ball guy,
especially playing with a guy like Xavier Mays.
Yeah. Oh my word. He's got a long way to go, but there's a reason why the Lakers took him. It's not to piss everyone off, but like he's got a ridiculous wingspan. He shows the flashes of being able to handle like pick and rolls and make passes where like holy crap. And you forget, even though the guy looks 38, he's only 18.
Nope, he is who he is.
Yeah, I know. He's never going to improve. Am I saying that he's going to turn into something amazing? No. But
I think
to pull out really just good. Like I think that's the thing is people are going to focus on Melton, and that's fine.
And
but the problem
that would have been great to have, obviously.
The problem is with that is if same thing as I do with bad things, I also look at good performances, and I always wonder, like, is that going to continue? And do I think that as a guy who has questioned Melton's shooting, do I think he's going to make like I think he made like 7
pull-up threes, man.
7 pull-up threes when he made like, I think in a whole year at USC, I think he might have made like
2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, it was like 3 I think it was 3 or 4. In 6 games compared to like what 38 games or something, he doubled that. I mean, like I think he's been working with Drew Hanlon,
man.
But like Drew Hanlon has also worked with guys like Jordan Clarkson.
Okay, that's nitpicking though.
But my point stands is like I have a high opinion of Drew Hanlon as well, but I mean. I just don't know, man. Like, I still question a lot of that. And you're not Drew. Melton is not going to be what he was in summer league with Houston. He's not going to be asked to do that. And Bonga, if you like, essentially with Bonga, you're nitpicking the 15th roster spot because
not even really. I don't know. He's playing in the summer league he's playing in the G League the whole year.
Yeah. I don't know if Bonga plays an entire quarter.
No. I don't know if he's ever active this year.
12 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I think there'd have to be quite a few injuries for something like that to happen. So
it'll be a redshirt year for him.
Yeah, and like that's my point, like could you have gotten someone that was going to have more impact? Sure.
Yeah,
sure. And
they were rumored that they were going to get Mitchell Robinson if he was there as well.
Yeah, I mean, like there were possible guys, like that were options, and some guys that I would have even liked more. But this Bonga was projected to be a lottery pick by Draft Express last year before the season started. He was rated highly for a reason. And the Lakers shut him down. And to throw on top of it, yeah, he didn't look great out there. He also did not show up until July 6th.
Yep.
So like he's only been in the States for 17 days.
Yeah.
At this point.
As an 18-year-old. Who he had never practiced
with them, like with rest of the guys, they all looked better because they played in that Sacramento Summer League together.
Well, that plus Mo Wagner, 4-year player, Viva Kylie, 4-year player.
I think Mo is a 3-year player.
Oh yeah, well, either way.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys are much older than him, So like, I get the frustration and everything,
especially with Melton playing well and Robinson playing well, and
but
even though Robinson,
some of the nitpicking, like it's just like oh my word, because before the draft, everyone's just like trust the front office, and then you see a guy he's not going to produce like a DeAnthony Melton right off the bat. Then of course, like people want to freak out.
Yeah, like he was never gonna play this year, even if he was good. Like what where was he gonna break into the roster of the rotation?
He's not going to play on the roster this year. Who's he going to get minutes over? He's not. If you play him at his natural position of point guard, he's not playing over Zoe, over Rondo, or even Caruso.
Yeah,
you're not going to play him at the 2 because he's doesn't fit that mold. He's not going to play the 3 because like he's not getting minutes over Ingram, Kuzma, LeBron. He's not playing minutes at the
Beasley.
Yeah, well, Beasley's a 4 in my opinion. Especially according to the stats, he played, I think, 90.
No, I know, but I mean, I still think he's in that same Kuzma type of thing.
Yeah, like he's not going to get minutes at the 4 because of Beasley, LeBron, of course. Like you're of people thinking Wagner is going to play some 4 because of his lack of strength. Just like a lot of these things. Like he's not going to play. And you don't dress 15 guys out in the first place.
No,
it's 13. So like it's what they're doing is they're taking him away from Germany and making sure like that develops with them, and instead of stagnating in Europe. And I think could they have easily have drafted and stashed, and I think that's what most people thought they were going to do. I mean, that's what I thought they were going to do. Yeah, that was probably the way, I guess, to go with it. But if you're worried that his European team isn't going to develop him in the way that you want him to be developed, then they're not going to use that 15th spot. Like, I mean, by December, it's the guy's going to be behind or in suits, you know, Bonga and the other guys. I mean, I would assume it's going to be like Stevenson.
Yeah, or Svi for the very beginning.
Or Svi for the very beginning. You know, like it's...
Or Beasley or something like that, yeah.
NBA teams don't run a full 13-man rotation.
No.
Like, is it technically a wasted slot? Sure. But I can go to almost every single NBA roster and point to guys that aren't going to play or shouldn't play.
Every team has them.
Every team has them. Like, I mean, again, like, am I saying like he's going to be a superstar? No. Am I saying he's going to be an all-star? No. Do I think he could be a starter in the future? Maybe. Do I think he's a rotation player in the future? With their, you know, scouting and development, yeah, I think he will be. So, like, at 39, a lot of these guys in the last few years, like, the second round has become essentially just
a first round by extension, you know?
First round by extension, yeah, because there's been so much good talent.
Yeah.
But, like, you didn't see him.
Yep.
You know, and, like, I'm sorry, like, I love a lot of the people that downed him, you know, but, like, wait until Miles Simon gets a hold of him.
Yeah, Miles Simon, that dude.
Time. Miles Simon was one of the better developmental coaches that we had.
He wasn't the best actual coach, but man, that dude knows how to.
Yeah, he was great with them. So, like, let Jesse Mermes deal with him. Yeah. You know, like, Mermes was another one of the really good coaches. Now, if they had kept Jed Bueller and he was his developmental coach, I would be cautious. Like, I'd be very skeptical because he was not good according to everything that I heard. I mean, like, good guy.
Besides, like, the team liked him, but he wasn't like great of a coach, you know?
Yeah, like, I just.
By the way, Clayton, I'm very proud of you for not getting mad at the last roster spot. You've come a long way since.
I know.
2 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah. My thing is that those rosters back then weren't deep in the first place.
Yeah.
This roster is deep.
I think the Lakers
say what you want.
The Lakers have 14 guys that can play in a pinch. And the 15th being him.
Being Bonga.
Yeah.
Even some, like,
14 and Caruso, I should say. Because he's technically 16.
Yeah. I don't like Lance off the floor, his past. And on the floor, he's not exactly the best player, obviously, in the world. He's not he's not good. And a lot of times he's bad.
Right.
That said, the dude can run a pick and roll, and he can stop some guys. Like, he can,
and he's gonna get into a fight.
Yeah, he's gonna piss someone off.
You're gonna blow in someone's ear.
Yeah, like if that's your worst player, holy crap! Like, because Lance Stevenson last year was a rotation player for the Indiana Pacers, and you can say yes, he wasn't good last year. I understand he wasn't good. I understand that. Like, I'm not saying he was,
but I mean, playoff Lance again. We go back to that. Playoff Lance is a thing.
Yeah, like, and he's going to piss someone off, and he's just going to irritate people. And sometimes there is value to that. Like, is it obviously value in other ways you would rather have it? Yeah, but like,
he's a guy that you might put out there to like foul someone like 4 times in like a quarter.
Just to piss him off. Like, I mean, if that's your guy that's suiting the last guy on your bench, if Lance Stevenson is the last guy on your bench, that's fine. Like, again, I'm not saying Stevenson is good. But if he's your 14 man, I don't understand what we're complaining about.
Because it's a name.
You know, like if Lance Stevenson had a good background, which of course, like I said,
if Lance Stevenson was Wayne Ellington, no one would care.
Yeah, what his
like personality,
his background and personality, no one would care.
But I don't think Lance would be on the team if he was Wayne Ellington, though.
No.
The reason he's on the team is because he's Lance Stevenson.
Yeah, and I think that was a LeBron signing.
Yeah, they've all been LeBron signings, I think.
Yeah. But, so I don't know. Like the guy's gonna be a suit all year. Like
he's gonna be playing the SBL the whole year.
Yeah, I'm not gonna freak out about that. You know, like would I have preferred DeAnthony Melton? Yeah. I wasn't the highest person on DeAnthony Melton, but I think had him top 20.
You had him top 20. I had him top
I know you had 12. You had him.
That was my guy.
Pretty good auto pick. But I mean, like, so like even though I wasn't as high on him as you and Nelson, like I still liked him, and I thought that he was going like he should have been the pick.
Yep.
But like, can you imagine in the future, Miles Simon has developed him, and he's turned into essentially a poor man's Brandon Ingram, where he's 6'8", 6'9", able to handle the ball, you know, a tall point guard, and you rework his shooting and some of this stuff, and he obviously has shown good instincts in a lot of different ways. I don't know, man. I think people just have latched onto him in a negative way just because he wasn't DeAnthony Melton. Like I said, I totally understand not like liking him as much, but like some of the crap I've seen, like my goodness, like I last year I did not like the Kuzma signing. I did not understand or drafting. I did not understand it because I didn't see a lot of that stuff. But like once Summer League started, I was fully on board. Like I was supportive of him. Like people are just like, what a waste of a pick and blah blah. Like so you guys are essentially calling yourselves hypocrites. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I just want to watch him in the South Bay Lakers this whole season.
Yeah,
like, see what he is.
In next year, if he's
still that next summer league, then yeah, there's a problem.
Yeah, but then he didn't develop as you had hoped. But like the dude is 18, like, and I think he just turned 18 a little while ago. Like he's not. I don't think he turns 19 until.
I'll look it up real fast.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Like it is November, so he'll be 18 a month into the season still.
Yeah,
like he's still young. Even next year in summer league, he will be, I believe, younger than Lonzo Ball was last year.
Yeah,
and I'm not comparing the two.
He's gonna be younger than Zion Williams and RJ Barrett, all those guys, whoever,
Yeah, like he's younger than a lot of the guys that are going to be drafted next year in the first round. Like I think they could have drafted someone else, but like you don't know what he is yet. And I trust Jesse Buss and the Lakers scouting department, and like Ryan West and oh my word, the old guy's name. What's his name?
Joey West?
No, the old guy's name.
Oh, the old guy.
Oh gosh.
I don't know why the only thing I'm thinking
of man, he just turned like in his 90s too.
The only thing I'm thinking of is when Nelson said Tex Summers.
Yeah,
Billy Burkett.
Oh my word. There we go. Like if those guys sign on for Isak Bonga, especially with like one of his middle names, because he's got 5 names, Evalu.
So that means he's going to Evalu.
Oh my word!
Bad pun. That was really bad. I don't know why I made that one. Nelson will be proud, I guess. But anyway, let's move away from Bonga. The last 3 guys sort of we want to talk about in the summer league, who will be in the training camp rosters are going to be Jonathan Williams, Joel Berry III, and oh my God, what's Carroll's name? Jeffrey Carroll. Jeffrey Carroll. And I think Carroll's contract was a Exhibit 10 contract, which means it can be transferred to a two-way contract at any point. Did any of those guys stand out at all, or not really talk about? I think Williams was one that had good moments.
Yeah, he had good moments, and then he also had moments where I just wanted him thrown off the summer league team. Like there was moments where he was just
like he would face up and shoot a really bad shot, and then the very next possession he'd take it coast to coast and dunk on someone.
Yeah, and his shot is
weird, man.
Ugly. Oh my word, it's ugly. So like,
he was a good defender. He was a solid defender. I will say that, and he was a solid rim protector.
Yeah, like, there were some good points about him. I think he's got good defensive instincts. I think that he can. His passing is questionable, but like, I see it because if there was a conversation between Ben Rosales and Sam Vecini, I can see it. I don't think it becomes
I still would rather have King, but like we said before, a chance King goes to the.
I want to know why like Malik Pope didn't get time. He had to either have been hurt, and we didn't hear about it, or he was just downright bad in practice. And I mean, I would guess the latter, but
he really was this year's PJ Dozier, or to a very, very lesser extent, Robert Upshaw.
I know, yeah, man. For Joel Berry, I mean, I need to
watch him play in the training camp.
I mean, just watching him from UNC, I think he's a Euro guard.
Yeah,
I don't think
he's whatever, you know.
Yeah, I don't think he's an NBA player.
No,
not to say that he's awful. I just don't think he's up to those.
He's very meh, you know, at everything.
Like, I mean, there's reasons why I would have much rather have Javon Carter or Devontae Graham or stuff like that.
Oh, so those two guys are NBA players.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Like, I just don't know if Barry is. And the last one with Carroll,
I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, like, it was funny because from the screen, a lot of the times, Carroll and Branch looked a lot alike for some reason to me. I don't, maybe if I was just sitting too far away from my TV, maybe not their face, but like just like when they're running around on the court. Yeah, I don't get it.
And they talked about him, like, again, Miles Simon said after a game that he's an NBA, like, after the way he talked about him was like that game he had a really good game and he thinks he's an NBA potential player. But I remember watching the game, I'm like, this dude missed like so many threes.
Yeah,
and he couldn't finish around the rim.
I
got
think,
roasted on defense a bunch of times.
Yeah, I think I would need to watch stuff from when he was at Oklahoma State last year when Jawan Evans was there.
But this last year was his best year, wasn't it?
No, I think last year was when he actually, like, I think he might have scored, you know, have better counting stats, but I think he was more effective last year.
Okay.
So, I mean, like, OKC just didn't have anyone that I thought was an NBA player. So, like, or OKC,
OSU.
OSU. I didn't think Oklahoma State had anyone that was NBA talent. So, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care. Like,
right.
If he's a 2A, I think there was a lot of guys that were snatched up on 2As just in the last 2 or 3 days that I would have much rather have. Or like, well, I mean, we didn't really have any roster spots, but like, I think Antonio Blakeney would have been a very interesting one. Or even
Tyron Wallace.
Yeah, or even the guy who they waived in Malik Newman, I would have preferred. Now with Malik Newman, I didn't understand that at all.
It was a weird.
They obviously had reasons. I'm wondering if with Newman, he has like an offer overseas.
Maybe that can be a case.
But like within hours of the draft, they signed Newman to a two-way deal, which can be waived at any time. But then they waived it yesterday or 2 days ago?
2 days ago, yeah.
2 days ago, and I didn't quite understand that because like for summer league, like he had rolled an ankle apparently pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Even before like the Sacramento summer league.
Yeah.
But like I guess I just didn't understand that. And I'm fine waiving Newman because I wasn't as high on Newman as a lot of people like you were.
Uh-huh.
I just thought that was pretty odd. It was odd. So, and now I wonder who's going to be their last person.
I said this before the podcast. I'm not going to be surprised if it's Jonathan Williams. I think it's going to be an in-house guy, even though I disagree.
No, I mean the 20th guy.
The 20th guy. I want it to be Nick King.
Yeah,
that was my favorite non-drafted guy on the team. He was the most intriguing guy to me. But like we've seen on Twitter, and like you said before, he's probably a Euro guy.
Yeah, I mean he at
Amaton Mays.
He was whatever on Rathon. He seems just like a Jordan Clarkson.
Oh no, I'm saying as Euro guys.
Oh yeah. So I don't know. Nick King would be interesting. He was really good at Middle Tennessee State, I believe he was at.
Yeah. And he was like the third or fourth highest scorer on the team, I think.
Yeah, I mean
the summer league team.
He showed good instincts. So I don't know, a lot of weirdness with that final spot. We'll see. I'm sure it will be someone that no one like. It's either going to be completely obvious or just like, what in the world?
Right. So. Well, and that seems like that's what it's been for the whole offseason. I can't remember who it was. There were a couple people that called I guess we can transition into this, but there were a couple people that called the Michael Beasley signing, and I think a lot of people were being like, we're joking too. But when it actually happened, I'm like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense because because of course it would happen. Mm-hmm. You know, the Michael Beasley signing, which, oh my God, I swear to God, the Michael Beasley signing was worse than the Lance signing of according to Twitter, because people lost their goddamn mind after.
Oh my word! Like,
for a guy who was a solid NBA player last year, by a lot of different counts. I think I don't remember who. Someone posted an article. I think it was someone on Silver Screen Roll or Lakers Outsiders, and it was like he was like the only people who scored more baskets per minute were like LeBron, Giannis, Harden, Durant, and Steph, or something like that, and Kyrie, or something like that.
Dude is a legit offensive player. He's been a legit offensive player for some time.
Yeah, that's been his whole career.
The defense obviously isn't good.
Nope.
But like people were flipping out, like legitimately, like, what are they doing? Blah blah blah. Like,
he's better than Lance. You can make the argument he's better than JaVale, even though I like the JaVale signing, you know?
Yeah, like his offense. Tim has his new site.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to go back and look. But I believe he was like a B+ on offense, and like an F on defense. Like,
yeah,
there are plenty of bench players that are just like that.
Yeah,
like people were pining for a freaking Jamal Crawford to sign. Like, Jamal Crawford is not good on either side of the ball.
Beasley's a better shooter than Jamal Crawford.
Yes, too. Like.
I actually think Beasley can make a decent impact on this team.
Like, I mean, he's going to be a bench guy. Like, he's not going to start. He didn't even start for the Knicks last year, I don't think.
I think he did a couple times, but that was the only one. I think that was once Porzingis was out.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay. And they're like, okay, we'll just start Michael Beasley. And he, like, had legit, I think he had... There was a game against the Cavs where he just went off, I remember. Or either the Cavs or the Thunder where he scored like 28 points.
Yeah, he had 30 starts according to Basketball Reference.
It would make a lot of sense if that was after the Porzingis injury. But I mean, he's a guy that can create his own shot. He's a guy that I think he had like a really good. I'm trying to.
Most of those starts happened after
the last half of the season.
Yeah, after. Like a couple games before the All-Star break, and I think that's when KCP got hurt.
KP.
Yeah, my bad. Like he was fine. Like
was a solid bench.
I mean, like he's like do you want him starting?
No. But we have a lot of guys who can start at the 4, you know.
You don't want him starting, but like losing your freaking minds over him signing is just amazing to me. And he only got $3.5 million.
1-year deal. I mean,
like,
it's all salary ballast, you know.
It's just, I don't know. I think negative reactions drive a lot of interactions.
Well, yeah, I mean,
and
which is why every Laker move that wasn't LeBron is like the sky is falling.
Oh yeah. So like, I don't know, man.
I still think the only quote unquote bad signing was the Lance one, just because of what we gave him and who was still out there, who we could have got.
Yeah, that is why. Now, like if Lance was signed today instead of like the day that Braun announced them, what was it? The first?
Yeah. Remember, it was the day after free agency. It was the day of free agency.
Yeah. So like.
Man, it's been a long ass time. It's been 22 days.
I know, and it's still amazing that we have LeBron. I don't know, man. Like the last 2 years where he's only played 16.7 and 22.3 minutes a game. The last 2 games, or 2 seasons, he shot 41.9, so 42. And 39.5. Like he's not likely to be that because his career is 35% from 3. But like
if he's just the corner, you know.
Oh no, you don't even really want him in the corner. You want him on the right side above the arc. Like if you go look at his heat map for his shot selection, like dude went off on the right wing.
Yeah.
You know,
pick and pops. That's all pick and pops there, man.
And like, I think he's probably gonna play some. I think because like I don't think he's a 3-4. I think he's gonna be the 4-5 because he actually.
I think he plays all 3.
I mean that wouldn't surprise me depending on the lineups.
Yeah,
but I mean if you go and look at his quote unquote play-by-play, so the last few years it's been the 4, of course, and pretty much the 3. Last year with Milwaukee, he played 24% at the 3. The year before was 5, but also 7% at the 5. So like, but if you go back 4 years when his last year with Miami, 28% of his time was at the 5. If you go all the way back to his rookie season, 48% of the time was at the 5. His sophomore year, 16%. And then like people started getting kind of a way of like how he would take advantage of guys. And like he's going to be a detriment on defense. Yes. That said, like you also need bench scoring, and you need to be able to get guys. You need to have guys on the bench who are going to be able to get buckets. Like if you go and look at his synergy numbers, our friend in our chat, was it Zach?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it was Zach. I want to shout out his Zach Milner.
Yes.
I wanted to say something with an M, but I'm terrible with names. Zach Milner put on, like who, does anyone have Beasley synergy stats? Beasley had a very good rating in the ISO. Like, do we like ISO scoring? Not particularly, because like a lot of times guys ISO and they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But he was very good at it, and 50% of the time it's going to be a bucket. And when that's an ISO situation, that is a very good rating. Like 50% of the time he's going to get a bucket.
Yep.
Like,
I mean,
is there a couple guys out there that I might have preferred? Honestly, I don't know, because like there's just not very many guys left on the market.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting another point guard would have been pointless because it's going to be Lonzo and Rondo. Those are the two. And well, I mean, there are other guys, but I mean, like the two quote unquote point guards on the floor. Those are going to be the two guys. there's no point in getting anyone at the 2 because it's going to be Hart and KCP.
Yep.
And, if minutes are available, Shvi. At the 3, it's going to be Brandon Ingram and Kuzma and,
that LeBron fellow.
Yeah, like at the 4, because I'm considering LeBron a full on 4 now.
Yeah.
At the 4, it's going to be LeBron, and it's going to be Kuzma still, and possibly Wagner, and like he's not going to be getting. I don't even think he gets to what he was 2 years ago with Milwaukee at 16.7 minutes. Like I think it's going to be like
10 to 15,
like, and he's going to like I don't.
I can see him putting up like 8 to 10 a game or something like that.
Yeah, and like I don't want to act like I just think that he's just a great player, like because obviously there's a reason why he's bounced around and why he is a knucklehead. If go look at his tailored looks.
Come on, that was great. That was.
I mean, like he's a knucklehead.
Stop using 10% in your brain. I'm using like 11 right now, man. Come on.
But like, I mean, maybe he likes to go party a little bit, and I mean,
but he hasn't been like that past couple of years though. Like I think that's like, the same thing with
everything that we've heard lately is that he's a good dude. Like, is he a little wacky? Yeah, but people freaking love that for Kyrie. Like, yeah, Kyrie is obviously a different player, but you're also not playing Michael Beasley. You're not paying him Kyrie money or playing him Kyrie minutes. Like he's not that big of a distraction. Like I don't remember anything negative coming out of New York about him. No. I don't remember and I laughed at when he signed with Milwaukee and Houston, and I don't remember anything negative out of those places. Like LeBron liked him in Miami. Yeah. If you have a system and you realize and you tell him, I saw someone saying like Spoelstra can, said, it takes a village, or not to raise a child, but it takes everyone. When you put him in a situation like that, then I think he's going to be fine. Like he's like, this isn't a guy who is like a Greg Hardy type thing for going to football.
Right.
This isn't 2 days ago with Hader. Like he's a little kooky, but like
he's our whole team, man. Our whole team is just a bunch of kooks.
Yeah, they're different. They're weird guys, but like at the same time, I don't think any of them are bad guys. Like other than
I think the only one we make Lance. Yeah. And it's not like we signed like Darren Collison, which I mean Darren Collison would have been great on this team, but
yeah, like I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
like even going to Rondo, like people are worried about some of that, and yeah, I get it. Like Dallas, he was bad.
Yeah, he legit gave up on the team.
Like Sacramento, he had quite a few questions there, but the locker room loved him. Same with Chicago. He had issues. He did have issues with Hoiberg, but he was very good with
the young guys.
Yeah, like I don't know. I honestly, because I do get why people think some of the moves were bad. I do. I get it. That said, like I don't understand this whole world that the sky is falling.
All 1 year deals, man. Look at free agency next year.
Especially since so with Rondo, he's probably the only guy that's going to get full on rotation minutes.
Yes, I agree.
Maybe the
whole year. I think
McGee too, maybe, but McGee's on a freaking minimum, a minimum deal.
Yeah,
like. So like people are freaking out over Beasley and Stevenson. Yeah, you could have, done money better, but like you're freaking out over guys that aren't going to be here next year, and
they might not even be here midway through the season.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's just
as our friend Jerry Kavokian and oh my word, I think I just butchered it again. I'm sorry, Jerry. I'm I should just not even try to ever say last names. Just it's just Jerry. Like I don't understand why people are worrying about guys that might not even consist of 20% of the total minutes.
Like, I mean, just think, how many minutes is BI going to get? 30 plus, right? Yes. Lonzo, he's going to get 30 plus.
Should Kuzma, 30 plus. 30.
28 to 32.
Yeah.
Josh Hart, 25 to 30. I mean,
so you're worrying about guys that aren't going to be in the rotation. And if guys go down with injury, they're going to be able to step up and just be fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's just look at the guys that they're replacing. Like, I'm not a Rondo fan, but oh my word, is he just a huge upgrade over Tyler freaking Ennis?
He looks like Steph Curry, like compared to Tyler Ennis.
Yeah, like Michael Beasley. I'm obviously not a huge fan of him, but he's better than Travis Ware. And I liked Travis Ware last year. I said that. I thought if we didn't get other players, that I would be fine with him, you know, in the Lakers of the Lakers roster again.
Yep.
But Beasley's a better player.
Yeah.
You know, like we kept KCP.
Yep.
And
better than Julius.
LeBron is better than Julius. And Lance
and Brewer maybe could be a toss-up, maybe.
Lance who?
And Brewer.
Yeah. I mean, like, they're essentially the same thing to me.
Yeah.
You know,
which I mean, even though Corey Brewer was a guy that was really loved by those young guys, you know.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Like, none of those guys, like JaVale probably doesn't get more than 15 to 18 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Michael Beasley probably doesn't get more than 12 to 15 a game.
Mm-hmm.
Lance, I would assume by the middle of the year isn't even going to be in the rotation.
Yeah, Svi will take over.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. Like I know I keep saying that, but like people are freaking out over guys that aren't going to be here next year. Maybe Rondo's here, but like, do we think Stevenson's going to be here next year? I doubt it. Do we think like McGee's going to be here? Probably not. I could see McGee, but like he's probably going to be upgraded upon. Like, do we think Michael Beasley's going to be here next year? Probably not. Like,
Rondo's the only guy I can see being here for a bit of a long haul.
Yeah, like I mean, I do think KCP.
Well, like KCP too, yeah.
They would probably like to have him because I do think KCP is a good player, but I don't.
Yeah, speaking of
freaking out over just a lot of essentially like guys that you could look at as kind of the 11 to 14 spots.
You know, it's just we have guys who are going to be playing 30 plus minutes who aren't any of those guys, and I mean, they're actual legit good players, and people are acting like the starting next year is going to be Rondo, Lance, LeBron, Michael Beasley, and JaVale. Like, that's not going to be the starting five. Anyway, speaking of the starting five, let's talk a little bit about Josh Hart versus KCP. Watching the summer league,
Kachelian.
Watching the summer league, the debate started up as Josh. Do we think Josh Hart is gonna compete for the starting job? Right now, would you say KCP or Josh Hart would start if the season was tomorrow?
I think KCP starts, and honestly,
would you rather start Josh Hart or KCP, or is it a wash to right now?
Would I prefer? I might prefer Josh start.
Josh start. I see what you did there.
but like if he doesn't start, I don't think it's a big deal because like, you know, there are good things to KCP.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think he's a little bit better perimeter defender.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Hart is better on the post.
And yeah, they're for switches, of course.
Yeah. Which I think both are fine regardless.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is I think KCP is a little bit more adept coming off of screens. I I had noted. I knew that, and someone else tried or said not tried. They said that on Twitter. Can't remember who said that. So with like LeBron and stuff, I mean, you're gonna have to have guys that are good at screening, and JaVale is a very good screener. So like, I think KCP starting is good to start out. Hart still has some things that he needs to work on, and like he can focus more on the bench, and like he's going to be able to star more on the bench with Kuzma.
Yeah, him and Kuz and Rondo are the main courses
like,
there.
One thing that we always say, but for some reason we lose focus on too. It doesn't matter who starts. Like, it really doesn't.
No, like this is, I think both finish games. I think there's a chance both finish games, you know?
Oh, like, yeah. I mean, like, I think who finishes will probably be who's hotter between KCP and Josh Hart.
I think it'll be 2 of 3 of Hart, KCP, and Kuzma.
Yeah.
That's what I think it'll be like. With LeBron at the 5 and, you know, Ingram, Lonzo, and then 2 of those guys.
Yeah.
Or if for some reason someone on the bench is doing really well, like Mo Wagner's actually looking really good for a game, or I don't know, something like that. But I think Lonzo, Ingram, and LeBron are locks for that final lineup, and then 2 of Kuzma, Hart, KCP, maybe Rondo, maybe Mo Wagner. You know, it'll be 2 of those guys. Speaking of Wagner, I guess Clayton doesn't think it's much of an argument, but you think it? Does the starting big man? Do you think it'll be JaVale, right?
Yes, because and the reason why isn't necessarily because of skills or anything between him or Wagner. I think a lot of it is just going to be flat out strength. Look at the 5s who start. There aren't many weak 5s, and right. Wagner is very weak. Like, he gets budged by guards.
Yeah, I think he's a better matchup for small ball 5s, at least defensively, because I think those guys aren't going to post up. Yeah. And I think he can handle those guys with his feet. He'll be mobile enough to guard those guys. At least better than it would with him guarding, like, I don't know, like Enes Kanter or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So like if excuse me, if you're going to kind of go off of like matchups, like say has Yusuf Nurkic re-signed with the Trailblazers?
He did like a week or 2 ago.
Man, I must have missed that. Obviously I did.
Yeah.
If say Zach Collins overtakes him, I think Wagner would have some decent success against Zach Collins.
Yeah.
You know, but do I think he would have a lot of success with Yusuf Nurkic? No.
Or like you don't want to put him on like DeAndre Ayton, or you don't want to put him on like even like a guy like he isn't signed right now, but I assume he will be by the start of the season, like a Greg Monroe, someone like that. You don't want him on that just because those are guys who are gonna eat him alive.
Yeah, because they're just gonna beat him up in the post, you know, and like obviously that's not a super efficient play, but like that's going to get him to foul and be beat up.
Right.
I guess.
Do you think there's a chance they play matchups with the 5? Like again, if they're playing a team that isn't playing a big down in the post or a guy who's going to overtake him physically, do you think they play by ear like that, or do you think it'll pretty much be a penciled in as JaVale for the whole season? Clayton.
No, I'm thinking. Man, I think at least to start the year,
it'll be penciled in.
It's going to be penciled in.
Okay. How many minutes do you see? Do you think they play the same amount of minutes though? Because I've seen Ben Rosales. He does like sometimes he has the rotations that he puts on Twitter. Both times I've seen him, I think I had JaVale at 15 minutes and Wagner at like 18 minutes. And then like Zoo at like 10 minutes or something like that.
I think Zoo. Oh man,
Is there
I can't.
is there a chance that Zoo can be a dark horse to start?
It depends on what he did in the weight room.
Right.
I mean, I honestly think that's the case.
That would be quite the flip, and it would make it what's his name, David on Twitter very, very happy.
Yeah, Chia Pet.
Yeah, Chia Pet 74 or whatever. That would be that would be a lot of fun to see.
So, Roto World has all the depth charts. Okay, let me go real quick. Okay, so right now, these are guys that would go against Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
Deadman's going to beat him just because he's adult strong. Jarrett Allen is bigger. He's not going to be able to handle him as much. But Allen will probably take him to post. He's going to get destroyed against Horford or Aaron Baines.
Mm-hmm.
He might be okay against Zeller.
Zeller.
Charlotte Hornets. I mean, whatever. He's probably going to get destroyed by really anyone that the Bulls have. Lopez, Carter. Against Cleveland, Tristan, I think, is just going to bully him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. DeAndre Jordan's going to bully him. Nikola Jokic is just going to make him look dumb. Andre Drummond is going to beat him up. Boogie is hurt. I'm not even going to consider him. So, like, who's their starting five then? Is it Looney?
It'll be Looney or Jones.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting one. I would probably just guess Looney just because he was good. He was fine in the playoffs. Clint Capella is going to embarrass him. Not because of like any skill set or anything. He might have some interesting times against Miles Turner.
Turner isn't that strong in the post. It's weird. Like he's a weird.
Not super strong, but I think that he has grown just in strength just because of being there.
Mm-hmm.
Gortat or Montrezl Harrell is going to beat him up. Or oh my word, Boban is going to
eat him.
Like he will literally eat him alive. Literally eat him. But Wagner is going to be able to get some of these guys just because.
On the other end, he'll be able to get some of those guys too.
Yeah, but like Marc Gasol is going to beat him.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah,
Jaren Jackson might actually be an interesting one because he isn't going to be in the post. He's mobile, but I wouldn't say he's.
I don't know if Jaren Jackson starts.
I would. No. But I think they start him at the 4, honestly.
Maybe they really like JaMychal. Against the Heat, both. I mean, he could fool Hassan just because of how athletic and how he likes to draw people out. But like Bam is going to beat him up because he already did.
Yeah, Bam did beat him up. Yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota, Karl Anthony Towns going to beat him up. Yeah. And they got Gorgie Dang and Justin Payton. Yeah, and Taj. Brooke Lopez in Milwaukee. Brooke is going to score.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I know. John Henson and Thon Maker, whatever. I'd happily play Wagner on both of those guys. Yeah. Anthony Davis, if Anthony Davis actually plays the 5, starts as the 5.
He has to. There's no way he doesn't, I think. Unless they just play Julius at the 5.
Yeah. Enes Kanter is probably going to beat him up.
Oh, yeah, he would. Kanter is very efficient.
Yeah. Efficient,
like scoring the ball while he's down there.
I mean, well, last year I think he was a little better. Previously, he really wasn't. But Mitchell Robinson, I'd risk that. I mean, Mitchell Robinson still has a lot of strength issues.
Mm-hmm.
Steven Adams gonna eat him. Then he's going to pour gold over his head. Vucevic, Bamba, and Mozgov. Those are going to be interesting ones, but.
I honestly think he could handle all 3 of those guys because they don't have that much strength.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, might just outlength him, but
I mean, Mozgov is much stronger than him, but I doubt he starts. Vucci isn't super strong, but he's definitely stronger. Joel's going to just destroy him. DeAndre strength wise is going to destroy him, but if you let Wagner like run off of screens and stuff, which I think he honestly could, then you're gonna piss Ayton off and he's gonna get tired and everything. Yeah. My word, we only have 6 left. Nurkic and Collins. I would have no problems with him on Collins or Leonard. Nurkic is going to beat him up though. Powell or Jakob Poeltl, which I mean, really, they should just start LaMarcus.
Poeltl. Yeah, I was gonna say I forgot Poeltl's their only center right now.
Yeah,
and Powell. They might just start Powell.
Yeah. The Knicks with Willie Cauley-Stein, I'd probably be fine. Nah, because like, oh my word,
I'd be fine with it.
I want Willie like in a good thing in a good spot. That's another.
I also forgot the Kings have all the bigs too. The Kings, the Magic, and the Hawks are in an arms race.
They're
in an arms race.
They've got 7 5s in my opinion. Because I think Bagley is a 5. I think Giles is a 5.
Definitely
I think
a 3.
Sal is a 5. I think Willie
also
is a 5.
Also a 3.
Yeah, I think Zach Randolph is a 5. Kostas is a 5. Deontay Davis is a 5. You've got 7 5s.
I'm sorry. All I heard was you name 4 3s and 3 5s. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just whatever.
I need Marvin Bagley at the 3.
Please, man.
Please.
Toronto, I think Jonas will beat him up. Serge will probably beat him up. Rudy Gobert would eat him up.
Mm-hmm.
It would be funny to watch him school Dwight, though.
He would. I think he would legit school Dwight.
But yeah, like I think it's really dependent on what he shows and how much stronger he gets. I think he is very behind with strength. Like he is not strong. Mm-hmm. He has a long way to go with that. Mm-hmm. But if he can take advantage of like his other athleticism, then like
he's gonna be a very perimeter oriented guy in his first year. Just because he'll get knocked off his spot a lot.
Yeah, I think like he'll be kind of like how Channing Frye floats around.
At least the very beginning, yeah, I agree.
Or like how Brooke floated around the 3-point line a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think the starting lineup is going to be Lonzo,
mm-hmm.
KCP,
mm-hmm.
Ingram,
mm-hmm.
LeBron,
mm-hmm.
McGee. I think that's pretty much who I think it is. And
that's a lot of running too.
Oh my word.
A lot of running.
Like I don't think Rondo should not start.
Unless you're Michael Thompson.
If he earns it, that's another thing,
and that's scary.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
I'm fine, obviously, with Josh Hart starting over KCP.
Mm-hmm. I think Ingram has pretty much the 3 locked down as well.
Yeah,
I know they said that LeBron's the only lock. I would lock down Ingram too in that spot. I mean, more so than Lonzo.
Ingram and Zoe, I think, they're locked. And then
but at least Lonzo has some sort of competition. I don't think Ingram has any competition.
I mean, if you wanted to go crazy with Kuz, but
I guess, but and I've seen some people on Twitter have like a starting 5 with Kuzma at the 3 and Ingram off the bench. I don't see how that happened, especially with all of the talk about Ingram this offseason and how they wouldn't trade him for Kawhi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's no way he
after finding out, which is perfect.
Yeah.
After finding out about the Kawhi trade, where we'll trade you Kawhi if you give us
everybody.
Josh Hart, Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and 3 first-round draft picks. No,
and I think 1 or 2 picks with swaps.
Yeah. Like that's not a trade.
I mean,
like that's not a trade.
No,
that's a ripoff. Like anyone that said that the Lakers should have done that is, I'm sorry, I hate saying this, but you're just hating on the Lakers. Like, I understand Kawhi is a top 5 player. I have him as a top 3 player when healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's on a 1-year deal, and you don't know if he's healthy.
Mm-hmm. I guess it's a little different just because it seemed like he would automatically commit to the Lakers if he got traded there.
I do understand that.
Mm-hmm.
But
even then, I mean, that's worth.
That to me, that honestly doesn't mean anymore because his contract status is still 1 year.
Yeah,
like that just adds to leverage.
How confident are you in Kawhi coming to the Lakers at this moment in free agency?
70%.
70%.
I think sorry, you go ahead.
No. I think it's funny that people are like very confident that because of there's rumors that people around Kawhi are saying that he would sign with the resign with the Raptors. I think it's funny because I think those are probably the same people that were saying, there's still a full season. Why would Paul George want to go to the Lakers? You know,
yeah,
a year ago, and obviously the opposite happened.
Yeah.
So, and I still think the Celtics and maybe even the Sixers were better than them. I mean I love Kawhi and I love Kyle Lowry.
If Kawhi is healthy, he makes them better than both.
Then both? Are you buying into the Nick Nurse?
No, I'm buying into Kawhi.
No, I know. I still think Brad Stevens outcoaches that team.
Oh yeah, but I'll take top end talent over the coach every time.
I'd rather have the depth though. That's my thing.
Well, no, but I mean, all they gave up was DeMar DeRozan.
Oh yeah, and
LOL, and Yaka Pirtle.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. So like, and yeah, they gave up a 2019 first round draft pick. They still have Kyle Lowry, Fred VanVleet, DeLon Wright. They got Danny Green.
I'm still in shock that they still have OG.
Yeah, they. If I'm the Spurs, I understand. Like, apparently, their most important thing for them was getting a guy like DeMar, which just cracks me up.
All the mid ranges. Oh
my word. They apparently 45% of their team was
last year, and that was without the number one mid range shooter in the league.
Yeah. So, I would have said I'm demanding DDR because that's who they wanted, and OG. Keep whatever else.
I don't even need a pick. Yeah, I would have wanted OG.
I would have wanted OG over anyone on that roster.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah. Maybe not for immediate impact, just because I still think Kyle Lowry is like a top 20 player. But
Kyle Lowry is also 32, 33 years old.
And that gigantic contract as well.
He's got, I think, 2 years left and 70 million, something like that. So, like,
I get why they traded for DeRozan instead of Kyle. Even though, again, I think if they wanted to win immediately, I would have rather had Kyle. And if they're willing to pay a giant contract, then why not get the better player? But I guess, I mean, you have DeJounte. But, man, him and DeJounte and Kyle Lowry would have been a lot of fun backcourt. Anyway, that's off topic. But I
do have to say, even though I am obviously not a fan of DeRozan, a lineup of like DeJounte and Lonnie Walker and Derek White and DeMar DeRozan and
weird, man,
and LaMarcus Aldridge.
You're getting real weird with this one.
I mean, like, you're just essentially going all wings. Like, I mean,
and LaMarcus. Yeah,
I think that would be an interesting one. I don't know how good it would be, but
do you think that Spurs team is a playoff team? Man, I think they sneak into like the 8th seed. Because I think Aldridge and DeRozan are very good regular season players.
Yeah,
and then they'll get annihilated by the Warriors.
Yeah, I've made this point, and so has other people like Pete and just really everyone. Like after Houston, who I think took a huge step back.
Yep.
But just until further notice, let's just keep them there.
It's wide open.
Behind Houston and Golden State, 3 to 10.
Maybe even 11. I mean, if you buy into the hold on. So it's Lakers, Jazz, Pelicans, Blazers, Spurs, Nuggets at 6. The Clippers. You might be able to talk yourself into the Clippers as a playoff team.
I don't. I mean, like, I like Tobias, and
You think Dallas could be a playoff team? Because they're an interesting team, especially with DJ and Luka, and with a coach like Carlisle.
Dallas is a playoff team? No. No.
Who am I missing? There's another team that people are talking about.
So for conference standings last year, Houston, then the Warriors.
Yeah.
And then so like I'm gonna say the 3 teams I say just
the Timberwolves too. Forgot about them.
The 4 teams I just say flat out no is the Suns,
yep,
the Grizzlies, the Mavericks, and the Kings.
Honestly, you could the Grizzlies are a team if they're healthy, you could talk yourself into them as a playoff team as well.
I don't think so.
If Gasol and Conley are healthy, I think you can.
Yeah, the problem is they're never healthy. So like I mean you could talk yourself into it, but
they shouldn't.
They
should just tank again. They should just tank again and go for one of those big name guys and pair him with what's his face? Oh, Jaren Jackson.
You should try and just dump those contracts and see if anyone will actually give anything of value.
Yeah.
Anyway. So like behind Houston and Golden State. So from 3 to 11.
Including the Lakers.
Including the Lakers, because the Lakers last year finished in the 11th seed in the West. So it's the Blazers, the Thunder, the Jazz.
Well, Thunder too.
The Pelicans, the Spurs, the Wolves. That was the playoffs right there. Then you had the Nuggets and the Clippers at 9 and 10, and then the Lakers. Lakers, I'm sorry, they're going, like, people that don't think that they're going to make the playoffs are out of their mind. Like,
I mean, we have
the Lakers had so many injuries to so many key players, and they still won 35 games when people were saying I remember a lot of people that don't like the Lakers were saying they'll be lucky to win as many games as they did last year. They made what a 9-win improvement. They won 26 the year before.
Yep.
So
and there were a lot of games we lost super close. Man.
Yeah. A lot of games they lost super close.
I'm gonna try to find the stat. Some Lakers legacy. Jonathan tweeted something out about the really close losses they had.
I think the Lakers are between a 3 and a 6 seed, I think it's going to be really close because from seed 3 to seed 9, so the team just outside the playoffs was 3 games. It could end up the last game of the year. That said, I have my money on LeBron.
Is there a team besides the Lakers, obviously, that you think are in the West that got better?
The Thunder did lose Carmelo Anthony.
There you go.
The Pelicans at the end of the year, the Pelicans didn't have Boogie, and
they're relatively the same, I think.
But they got Randall. So that does help.
But they lost Rondo, who's a big part of that team, you know?
Yeah, but I think they're going to be fine. I don't like DDR, but he was a huge part of the Toronto Raptors.
He was a guy who was for a little bit was in an MVP conversation.
LOL to that.
Like I said,
my thing is he's a good regular season player.
I mean, so is LaMarcus.
He was added to a 47-win Spurs team. So essentially because Kawhi played 9 games, you're not going to really consider him. So it's essentially is DeMar DeRozan a improvement on Danny Green? And while I like Danny Green, but I mean, DeMar is better. Just because he can create at the very least for others as well. So I do think that they improved, but I don't really know if the Wolves improved. In fact, their locker room seems to be an absolute mess.
No, I know. And they're gonna have a full season of Derrick Rose now.
Yeah.
And no Tyus Jones.
Yep. The Denver Nuggets.
Free Tyus Jones, by the way.
Yeah. If the Nuggets,
I think the Nuggets make the playoffs.
If the Nuggets get Millsap all year and Millsap is like Atlanta, then you're happy. So I think it's going to who's going to drop, and I think
honestly,
I think it's going. Oh man,
Portland.
That was the same exact team I was going to say. Portland, and I do think that the Pelicans slip.
I can see the Pelicans slipping,
but
I think Rondo was a very big part of why they were so good in the second half of the season. Obviously, AD is AD, but I honestly think Rondo made a huge impact with those guys.
They also have to hope
Drew Holiday is Nico too, and you want to hope Drew Holiday is
I honestly think that the only teams that unless injuries happen, that are pretty much guaranteed in the Western playoffs is the Jazz.
Yes, I think there's a chance the Jazz could be the 3 seed, maybe even the 2 seed if something doesn't work out with the Rockets.
I will hold off on that. I'm
a big Donovan Mitchell guy. That's probably why. So.
I know, but I do think the Thunder still are pretty much a lock, even though it was so much fun looking at the very end that they almost missed it.
Yeah, they're a near lock with no Carmelo.
Yeah, and then Golden State and Houston. And I do feel like the Lakers are a lock. Yeah, is that possibly Laker fandom? But
sure.
It's LeBron James, man.
I mean, weren't we just arguing if this guy was the GOAT 2 months ago, and now he can't get out of the West
because of what?
Weren't we debating
DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge?
Weren't we debating? Weren't we debating that LeBron could bring any team to the playoffs? Wasn't that the debate?
Yeah. Yep. So no, I think the Lakers are going to be anywhere from a 3 to I guess a 6 seed, depending on.
I would love to face either the Spurs or the Nuggets in the first round. The Spurs just so we can have LeBron versus DeRozan again.
Oh man, I think DeRozan might just fake an injury at that point.
He's gonna have a giant anxiety attack again.
He's got PTSD, man.
He does, man.
Definitely.
And then the Nuggets, just because I want to make fun of Nuggets fans again.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm so excited. It's gonna be 2 months. So there's so much other stuff we can talk about. Let's hold off so we can have it for.
We already went an hour and a half plus on this, so I think it's pretty much time to wrap it up. So if you've lasted this long, thank you for listening to us. Merge, you got anything coming up?
I'm bouncing some ideas around, but I have nothing I've started yet.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And RIP to your Julius article.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't have anything at the moment off the top of my head, but I take that back. I do have something for Stevenson, something I talked about on the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about it more after I write it, and then we have a podcast about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so just check out Under the Bus at Under the Bus Podcast, and you can check the site out at underthebus.net. We're going to be during the dead period. We have everyone on a schedule, so hopefully getting content out there. While you all are dying.
All the LeBron clickbait you guys want.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, you can catch Merge at Merge Christian, right?
Yep, I'm Merge Christian.
And then myself at Lakers 1949.
And hey, go ahead and follow Nelson at IDK_Espinoza because why not?
He only has 31 followers, and poor guy, he should have never deleted his last Twitter, but whatever. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for hanging in there and listening to me just ramble several times. So all right. Y'all have a great one.
See y'all later. Peace.